much clearer. It comes to the discussion that we having, right? Because my algorithms is crazy. I need to change what I'm watching right now on YouTube.
You get a whole bunch of.
With yeah, I'm see like I like you use terms like manosphere and stuff like that, and like I don't really be on this. I just started getting on that in the last
You're naturally on that. That's just you, though. Like I'm
not
telling you, you just.
not because it's sociological to me. So I look at things from a psychology and sociology perspective. Like, hey, blah 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 blah. I'm looking at it biologically as well. Like, okay, let me see your argument for what you're asserting. You provide a solid argument. I'm like, damn, that's a solid point. But a lot of times, these people who are doing these things is really emotional and it's self-serving. So they. All right, I think you and I discussed it the other day. Or I mentioned this the other day. I was like, yo, put 20 men on an island with 1,000 women. In 9 months, that could be and everybody is healthy. They could impregnate that whole island and double the population. 40 weeks, right? Now you put 20 women on an island with 1,000 men. In 9 months, you
Wait,
only gonna
hold
have
on.
20.
Uh-huh.
Now flip it. Put 1,000 women. I mean,
Yeah,
a
1,000 women.
1,000 men and
Dang.
20 women,
Good. Yeah.
and you cannot double the population. You only gonna increase the population by 20.
Why? Because if you have 20 men and a
No,
thousand
no, no,
women,
no. The second
all
one
those
was 20
men.
women. 20 women, 1,000 men.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, you can still because they get after 9 months you get pregnant
But
again.
I'm talking about 40 weeks flat.
Oh, within
40
40
weeks
weeks.
flat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I got you.
So
Yeah.
see how women are more valuable, in my opinion. This shows you where your value comes in. So as people are starting to promote promiscuity amongst women, everybody's entitled to do what they want to do. I'm not knocking that. But when you don't, I think that you, in some capacity, are diminishing your value
By what?
by being promiscuous
Oh,
because you
promiscuity.
have something that's rare. You know what I'm saying? You have something that's valuable, and when you're giving it away and a lot of times freely to these bum ass dudes who can't provide for you, can't protect you, won't sit around and do the job of a man, you're selling yourself short. It's like having $100,000, something worth $100,000, $1,000,000, but you're giving it away for $20. In any other instance, you're like, yo, you a damn fool. So why, in the name of women's liberation or whatever it is called, I'm not just we need equal rights, right? But why are we starting to try to condition and trick women and say, oh no, you should be just like these dudes? Because the dudes doing this, they're still gonna have a value. The woman is gauged different, right? Or you might not agree, but you think that women, we've been talking about this the whole time. Women and men are gauged equally, in your opinion?
I mean, if no, of course not. Women are looked at as hoes and men are looked at as players. It's been like that forever. It will probably never change. And that's fine. But
Yo, look, put it like this: if you're like you probably don't want to. If your son was out here being promiscuous, you might be like, yo, you need to chill, you need to relax. But if it's your daughter, you gonna look at it like, yo, respect yourself. If it's your mother, you gonna look at it like, yo, is it? And that's not just conditioning. It's just like, yo, it's a respect thing for y'all. Once again, 20 men could impregnate an island of 1,000 women easily. Just 20 men recreate life, repopulate a whole earth with just a small amount of men. A small amount of women can't do that same thing. Our seeds is, we have millions of sperm,
yeah,
billions of sperm. The sperms that we produce go down the drain so many times they're worthless. You understand that? Like your eggs are rare.
I
Is it?
tried to tell one of my homeboys. He was meeting people on those apps, and I felt so stupid after I said it because I'm like, I don't even know why I wasted. But I said, listen. I said, you can't just keep going out meeting these random people and just screwing. Your body is a temple and you're precious just as much as the woman. I
That's
said, think
true.
about that. I said, every time you stick your thing in somebody, but then afterwards I felt stupid for saying it because I'm like, men aren't looked at the same. So why am I wasting my breath? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yo, now I give you this on a spiritual level. I agree with you wholeheartedly because we end up having connections with people. It does something to us psychologically. It deteriorates the bond that you can have with another individual. You know what I'm saying? So now instead of me valuing her the way I want to value her, I'm gonna compare her to chick number one, chick number two, chick number three,
yeah.
and now it's kind of that. It's like being haunted. Remember I said something before, like being haunted by the ghosts of dudes past. Well, the same thing can happen in reverse, except for oftentimes dudes, especially dudes who have options, right? A lot of options, they don't get as emotionally attached normally. And even if they do, they still might explore their options. You know what I'm saying? So that's just another.
How do men not get attached? Like even if say they have two or three that they rotate, how do they not get emotionally attached if they're spending time like talking to that person, excuse me, spending money on that person, feeding into that person? Like, how do you not form some sort of connection? Like, I
Okay.
just find
Well,
that interesting.
see what you're saying though is that you're spending time and money, but how much time and money, and how much do you value that time and money? So if you spending a couple of hours so you can pipe somebody down, you spending $50 or $100, that might be nothing to you, right? It's different when you spending your hours upon hours and exhausting your resources. I don't want to say you exhaust your resources, but more of your resources. You feel what I'm saying? When you start exhausting more of your resources and spending that much time making that much of an investment, let's call it an investment because that's what it is, then you're more inclined to have that connection and develop an attachment. But a lot of these cats ain't really exhausting their resources. Cats ain't even open their doors and they barely paying for bills. If they taking a chick somewhere, what 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 percentage of their budget is that date taking up? You see what I'm saying? Is that amount significant to that dude, right? So if somebody gives $100 to a homeless person, right? To a lot of people, wow, he gave him $100. That's crazy. But to him, that $100 is nothing. So if I give you an hour of my time, you might be like, oh, he spent so much time with me. But to me, that hour is nothing. That date that we went to insert a place that you feel like, oh, it was so costly, it's nothing to me. That not me specifically, but whatever this dude is, whoever this dude is. And once again, we are hunters. When you fishing, you gonna use certain bait to get the fish that you want. When you hunting, you gonna use certain bait to attract what you hunting. It's the same with dating, essentially, in my opinion. We using the bait that we need to use to attract the game that we want to conquer, that we want to, that we're hunting.
So there has to be some sort of sacrifice on that man's end in order for it to kind of substantiate like his true feelings for her.
I would think so, right?
Okay.
A effort, a serious effort, right? But you
How
also
would
got
the
no
woman
offense.
know that though?
Take your time. Did we talk about this before when we was like, yo, a certain number of days? I was like, nah, don't measure it by days. Measure it by hours that you spend communicating and interacting with that individual. Because the more time you spend interacting and communicating with an individual, the more likely you're gonna see their true colors and their true intent. You know what I'm saying? We live in a society where people are having one night stands a lot more frequently. They have a lot more access to potential, I guess it's called suitors or one night stands. So, um, damn, what was I? Let me turn this off because it's definitely just distracted the hell out
What
of
are
me.
you watching?
Yo, be watching like these shows where these cats
They're
live in the wilderness
horrible.
and they build like cabins and stuff. And I'm
Yes.
like, yo, that's why I want to live. Like, I'm tired of this. Yo, but it's always interesting to me, man. They end up doing a farm and you know what I'm saying, having a garden. I'm like, yo, that's so peaceful. But
Yeah.
what was I saying, Mo? My bad.
I don't know.
Yo, anyway,
Just talking about
anyway.
men and sacrifice and, spending time. It takes hours to get to know
Yeah,
somebody,
yeah.
and you just gotta be paying attention, I assume.
Hundreds of hours. And not we texted each other sporadically throughout the day. I mean engagement, like being engaged with an individual. So you have to be like, you and I are having a discussion right now. Now we're texting, you might not get a response from me but every 10 minutes. That don't count. You see what I'm saying? We've been talking 37 minutes, so we're gaining insight into one another's mind and our psyches and intent.
Why does the texting? How come that doesn't count?
It doesn't count when you're trying to calculate hours, because each text might take you 15, 20 seconds to write.
Yeah.
But then how are you measuring that communication? Like, it is communication, of course it is, but it's not the same as me constantly engaging you on a face-to-face conversation or me being on the phone, right? So it's actually a quantity type thing, a volume that you're looking for in here. Because you can sit back and say, oh, we've been talking for 8 months. How you talk? Oh, through text messages? Well, you ain't been speaking with him on text messages all day. Generally speaking, like, it can happen. But even when it does happen, you might get 20, 30 texts per hour. Let's just assume that's on the high end, right? But we talking, that's a lot of words that occurred, that were delivered, conveyed throughout the course of a 30-minute period. Think about how much we just communicated between you and I. We've been on here for 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Imagine how much that would have been in a text message. You ain't reading that.
No.
You and I don't even text that much no more, because we like, okay, I'm gonna send you a voice message because I got a lot to say, and we don't even want to listen to the voice messages half the time. Like, yo, that's why we apologize. Like, yo, my bad, Mo. This is 4 minutes long. Like, yo, if you made it to this point in the recording, yo, you know what I'm saying? So